Welcome to the Perfect Season Podcast. This is the super amazing podcast that has absolutely everything to do with all sports imaginable and absolutely nothing to do with milk and cookies. Still going to keep plugging that for the rest of my life. But it's just Frankie and I for today. It's off season. There's really nothing going on right now until what? The next couple of weeks when the combine happens.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of that first dead period of the off season where NFL Network is showing, the top 10 games in this past year, and you got to keep yourself entertained when it comes to football.
Exactly. I think if I remember correctly, over the weekend they literally just played past Super Bowls.
Yeah, modern Super Bowl. Sorry, I gotta turn around here. I don't like what I saw. Yeah, they literally were airing modern Super Bowl classics, which I actually enjoyed.
No, I mean, the past Super Bowls are always interesting, that's for sure. But, I mean, like you said, it's the dead period. This is the second week now since the Super Bowl's kind of been in the books.
Yeah, this is the second week of the off season for every team. Now the Bengals and Rams included. So what do you have going on right now that's interesting?
Well, besides school, nothing else. But for today, we're gonna do forgotten NFL players of the past. So this will be pretty much. I'd say this is gonna be a series, maybe just like a minor series. We'll just couple minutes, just kind of talk about one player each that we thought was forgotten in times past, somebody that was of significance but isn't mentioned nowadays in football because they're lost in history. For instance, Greg Jennings. Everybody knows Greg Jennings in some way, shape, or form. Some people may know him from the Packers, and also people. Do you remember, Frankie, that one video where Greg Jennings ran the 99-yard touchdown with the broken leg in that Madden game?
In Madden?
Yeah. Did you see that video?
I have not seen that video, but that does not shock me that he did that.
No, I think that's like the one video that I associate with Greg Jennings, other than the 1 year that he was on the Dolphins. There was a video that he was in Madden and he ran a touchdown, a 99-yard touchdown, and you just see the animation where he's like limping and like running full speed. You got to check it out.
Either that, or the player wasn't using using the full speed that allows a player to run at full speed. But that's interesting to me. I forgot about Greg Jennings. They've forgotten players. He was a really important player on those Green Bay teams, particularly that Super Bowl team in 2010 when the Packers won the Super Bowl. I'm going to go to the other side of the ball, Alex, and I'm going to go with Terrell Suggs, linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens. What do you have against Terrell Suggs?
Nothing. I have nothing wrong against Terrell Suggs. It's just one person I completely forgot about.
Yeah, I mean, as a Bengals fan, I grew up watching Terrell Suggs terrorize the Bengals right side of their offensive line. Longtime linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens, ended up being released after the 2017 season, or it was either after the 2017 or the 2018 season. He goes to the Arizona Cardinals, basically at the tail end of his career, doesn't really do much for them. But everyone talks about Ray Lewis, and he stole all the headlines, both on the field and for his leadership, his great speaking abilities, and his controversies, but also for his dance and his entrance. But Terrell Suggs was equally just as important to their defense, if not more important, because he gave you that deadly drop back into coverage and then blitz combination. On a Ravens defense, they could just terrorize opponents with their abilities to blitz, and especially against the AFC North, Terrell Suggs was so consistent and kind of overlooked on a Ravens team that had a really good linebacker in Ray Lewis and then a great safety in Ed Reed. But without Terrell Suggs, that Ravens defense is not nearly as formidable and as physical as it was for almost 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. Terrell Suggs was always one of the most talked about players during the peak of his career on the Ravens, and then he gets cut. NFL stops talking about him. He gets signed to a 1-year contract with the Cardinals. The next thing I know, I remember one day I completely forgot that Terrell Suggs retired. I thought he was still on the Cardinals until I looked it up one day in 2020, or it was revealed that he retired 2 years beforehand.
Yeah, and I think it was good for him to go play for the Cardinals for 1 year, having played his college ball at Arizona State. He was from Chandler, Arizona. He grew up there, so good for him to go back to his hometown and play for 1 year. A fitting ending to what was a career that I think will someday wind him up in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's definitely not first ballot. It'd take him some time, but I'll agree with you that he's worthy of the Football Hall of Fame at some point.
He'll eventually get in, and that would mean 3 players on the Baltimore Ravens who were together for 10 years on that defense would be in Canton. Pretty remarkable.
That's incredible. And yeah, I mean, Terrell Suggs is one of the best to ever do it, especially on the outside linebacker. What you said, I mean, you're completely correct. He was an absolute menace blitzing the quarterback, but could also drop back into coverage. He was definitely somebody that was overlooked, I could say.
Shouldn't have been overlooked, but he was. It felt like to me because of who the Ravens had alongside him, and Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, and yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So mine, I know we kind of set a list in the little chat that we all have together, but I'm gonna kind of double down on the Green Bay Packers. I'm gonna go with Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn.
And the thing is that, like, when you think of, quarterbacks that were lost in history, you could think of what? Mark Sanchez. I mean, I guess maybe Tim Tebow, but everybody kind of knew who Tim Tebow was. Johnny Manziel. I'm going to go with Matt Flynn because Matt Flynn had that one glory game against the Lions back in 2011, because the Packers already won their division. And they were just literally just playing just for the heck of it. They threw in their secondaries. And what does Matt Flynn do? Matt Flynn throws for 400 plus yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. 37-21 was the final score. And then he signs a 3-year, $30 million contract with the Seattle Seahawks, does absolutely horrendous. And who replaces him in 2012?
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. And the rest is history.
How that move turned out for Seattle, not bad.
No, it wasn't. I mean, hey, you pay a guy 3 years, $30 million just to find out that your franchise quarterback was the backup? I think any team would do that.
Yeah, that was it. Maybe that's why they haven't been able to sign a lot of high-quality free agents over the years, Seattle. They wasted all that money on Matt Flynn. He ended up not even starting. I'm going to stick with my linebackers. I'm going to stay in the AFC North, and I'm going to say James Farrior. James Farrior of the Pittsburgh Steelers, on a defense and a team that had a lot of great players. James Farrior was an enforcer in the middle of the field. You think about the linebackers on that team, how good they were. Larry Foote, James Farrior, Lamar Woodley, longtime linebacker out of Michigan. But James Farrior, to me, in that middle, leader of that defense, steady. Kind of forgot about him on all the great players on those Steelers defenses. So I'm going to go James Farrior.
When did Farrior even play?
Mid 2000s to the early 2010s.
I'm not even going to lie. I don't even remember James Farrior. I don't even heard of the guy. Just adding to the furtherness of forgotten.
You don't have the stats right in front of me as to how long he played for the Steelers, but just a name that came to mind. Watching Super Bowl 43 of the Super Bowl Classics over the weekend, I remember James Farrior. I forgot about that guy.
Mm-hmm. And you know what, Frankie? Just to end things out, just because we got to keep this series alive throughout the offseason, because it's the offseason. We have no football for 6 months, so we got to keep things interesting. One more. I'm going to keep your trend of linebackers. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
London Fletcher.
London Fletcher. Yes, sir.
London Fletcher. He played most of his career with the, at the time, Washington Redskins. Obviously, now it's Washington Commanders. I will argue that London Fletcher, he had equally, if not better stats than Ray Lewis did.
Longevity, played for multiple different teams, won a Super Bowl with the Rams in 1999. Yep. One of the best middle linebackers, one of the hardest working linebackers and players in the NFL. His training regimen was incredible. I'm gonna, you know what? I'll go. Just because you named a third player, I'll go with the third player too. I'll go back to the. Let's go. I got some options here. I'll go back to the St. Louis Rams. There's a list of players I can choose from, but give me Torrey Holt.
Oh my God, Torrey Holt.
Torrey Holt on a, it was, you could pick whoever you wanted on that team to be the best player. Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, but I'll go with Torrey Holt. Took over the league by storm in 1999. On the Rams Super Bowl winning team. Always a threat for a big play. Torrey Holt, my third and final pick. All right, I don't know if it's final. Are we going to fourth pick, final four?
You want to go final one? You want to go another one?
We'll go one more because I got another receiver.
All right. You go ahead. Let me think of my fourth one then.
All right, I'll go back to Washington. Santana Moss.
Oh my God, Santana Moss.
Didn't he play for the U?
He did play for the U.
Okay, so there you go. I chose. See, all right. Santana Moss played for the Jets before he went to Washington. Was a big threat for the Jets with Chad Pennington when he first broke into the league, and then went to Washington. Helped the then Redskins to a 10-6 and postseason berth in 2005. Played for them for a few more years following that. Santana Moss.
You know what? I'm going to keep it alive with you wide receivers. You just made me think of one with Santana Moss. Anquan Bolden.
Yep.
Anquan Bolden at the time held the rookie reception record, not reception yards, but individual catches at 101.
And guess who holds it now? Who holds that now, Alex?
Jalen Waddle of the Miami Dolphins. Got to keep it alive in Miami.
I forgot Jalen Waddle. My bad. No, but Jamar Chase broke one of his records. I know that.
Yes, Jamar Chase broke reception yards.
Okay, so I did that for you. I thought for me, and I'm like, I remember Chase broke it for receiving yards. My bad.
Yes. No, you're good. Yeah. Chase broke yards. Waddle broke catches.
Okay. Yep, that's right.
Both were rookie records, and didn't Jamar Chase also beat Justin Jefferson's record as well? Because he had it.
Yes, he did. Both rookie records.
Yeah, because it was Anquan Bolden held it, and then Justin Jefferson broke it last year, and then Chase broke it this year. So.
Yep.
All right. Man, Santana Moss and Anquan Bolden, legends of that legendary U team during the 90s and the early 2000s.
We're gonna have some fun with this. When's our next edition, Alex?
Ooh, probably soon. We got to make it soon. You got to keep this one alive.
Yeah, I like this.
This was fun. I actually really like this one.
I did too. I'll look forward to hear what Anthony and Leon who they would pick.
That's a good one. I'd probably say Anthony's going to say Josh McCown.
Whatever.
But that'll do it for this episode. We're going to keep it nice, short, nice and sweet. Just to kind of keep this one going, we'll probably make several installations of this one throughout the off season. So just stay tuned and leave a comment about any forgotten players that you kind of remember for either that could be your team or just in general. But Frankie, you got any lasting messages?
If Anthony's gonna go with Josh McCown, I'm gonna go with Jason Campbell.
Oh God. Okay. Well. All right. Well, again, that'll do it for this episode. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see y'all later.